and welcome to another edition of To The Point. JDU is an important component of the Grand Alliance, which is doing the tightrope walk of balancing its own Janata Parivar allies and also reciprocating to the high decibel campaign of the BJP-led NDA. How does the grandeur of the Grand Alliance look at the moment, and are its strategies in place? Joining me now is a popular face of the JDU. He's a popular leader and also a Rajya Sabha MP. I welcome Mr. Pavan Varma on To The Point. Mr. Varma, let me begin by asking you. You said in one of your recent TV debates that Bihar election is going to be a referendum on centre's performance. Now, as the election is progressing, do you still hold your thought?
If you just follow the logic of it, the BJP has no chief ministerial candidate in Bihar.
Okay.
Their only face is Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, two people from Gujarat, are on all the hoardings of the BJP. So if Narendra Modi is the face, it has to become a fight between Nitish Kumar and Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi cannot be judged for his performance in Bihar, but he can certainly be judged on what he promised and what he delivered, which is essentially the performance of the central government.
Okay.
And on that count, he is found exceptionally wanting, which is one of the central pillars of our attack, that be it any sector, industrial production, manufacturing, agriculture, exports, foreign direct investment, the picture is negative, apart from the fact that there are rising prices and no creation of jobs as per promises. Quite apart from the usual thing about black money not coming 15 lakhs, but agriculture, it's 1.9% today. So overall, his performance, between the extravagance of the promise and the reality of the delivery, the gulf is so visible that it naturally becomes one of the important pillars of our campaign.
But when you talk about the faces of NDA, you're saying that Modi is the only face which they are projecting. But when we see the JDU campaign, when we see the Grand Alliance campaign, you only have Nitish Kumar's face on the posters which are plastered across the cities in Bihar. Isn't it a very Nitish-centric campaign?
I think that Nitish Kumar being the chief ministerial candidate,
right,
the JDU had said, "Aage बढ़ता रहे Bihar, फिर एक बार Nitish Kumar," and those posters are all over, not only Patna but the state. But Lalu Prasad ji has his own campaign, his own posters, as indeed does the Congress. What is significant is that between the three parties that form the so-called Grand Coalition of Mahagathbandhan, they are in complete tandem. The BJP's first allegation was that they can never come together.
But what, Mr. Pavan Varma, I want to understand from you, when you say that your allies in the Grand Alliance are at tandem, according to you, it's a very synergistic alliance, right? But when there are questions like, coming together of Lalu and Nitish, who have, shed their mutual antagonism, which was initially there, to make a common platform, don't you think that the center of gravity of the entire politics of the country is towards BJP?
My personal reaction to what you're saying is
right,
that there was a period 10 years ago when Nitish ji fought against the excesses, quote unquote, of the then RJD government of Lalu Prasad. 10 years have elapsed. What's the difference this time? I'll be candid with you. Firstly, Lalu Prasad ji has emphatically endorsed Nitish Kumar to be the chief minister. So the face of the alliance is known, and that face stands for something.
After a lot of initial rumblings.
I don't believe so.
He thought that he didn't have an alternative.
That is in fact was the worst fear of the BJP. I'll be candid with you. First they said they can never come together. Then they came together. Then the BJP said they can never agree on a chief ministerial face. That was easily resolved. Then they said they can never ever agree on a division of seats. That we did long ago.
But would you call that a compromise? Compromise on your strategy? Isn't that a compromise on strategy?
I believe that with the endorsement of Nitish Kumar, what does Mr. Nitish Kumar stand for in Bihar? Ask anybody in Bihar. He stands for economic development. He stands for good governance. He stands for economic growth with social justice.
Let me complete.
No, let me complete because you asked me a question. He stands for economic growth with social justice, and he stands for religious and social harmony in society.
Right.
Tell me which of these goals at the moment is antagonistic to Lalu Prasad. He has endorsed Nitish Kumar, so it stands for the primacy of law and order. Anyone who knows Nitish Kumar...
But Mr. Varma, there is no doubt that Nitish Kumar has been a strong votary of clean politics, clean governance. But when a person like Nitish Kumar stands by the side of Lalu Prasad, the general perception is that he's a symbol of corruption. So doesn't that, affect or dent the image of Grand Alliance in any way?
I believe that in the case of Mr. Lalu Prasad, the matter is in the courts. Due process of law will follow.
But politics is about perception.
Now, politics is about perception, which is why Mr. Lalu Prasad cannot stand for the elections nor be the chief minister.
Right.
He has endorsed Nitish Kumar to run the state. All the alliance partners have agreed to that. When it's Nitish Kumar as the chief ministerial candidate, a lot of things change in terms of perception, which is what you are mentioning. Law and order will not be compromised with. You know that Mr. Nitish Kumar recently put 2 of his own MLAs in jail, and they were influential MLAs. Economic development and good governance will be the prime focus. He cannot compromise with it. He works 18 hours a day.
But why do people have a feeling that Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad are a part of one alliance, but they are talking in 2 different languages? If Nitish Kumar is a symbol of development, Lalu Yadav becomes a symbol of casteism. He talks about caste arithmetic. He talks about a matrix, which is very difficult for the people to absorb at the time.
I'll tell you what they both stand for, as I understand
Yes.
it. Lalu Yadav today emphasizes the goal of good governance as symbolized by Nitish Kumar, but continues to fight for what was his original USP, which is social empowerment and social justice. So there are 2 sides of the same coin. By the way, it was Nitish Kumar who in his 9 years of rule coined the basic target of the government as growth with justice, Nyay ke saath vikas, which means that the fruits of economic development must reach the poorest of the poor as a matter of conscious policy, planning and administration.
But when you talk about Nyay with Vikas, you have to reach out to that 32% EBC vote. Now let's analyze the vote bank. Let's analyze the vote bank now. If you do a straight calculation, the combination of JDU, RJD and Congress, they add up to about 45% vote. It's an unbeatable combination. It looks like an unbeatable combination. But what happens in a scenario if the vote is split? What do you do? How are you really strategizing if that vote is split? Like what we saw during the Lok Sabha elections, that the votes of the Mahadalits or the EBCs, which actually drifted towards BJP.
What you saw in the 2014 elections, the narrative of history must be correct. Okay. What you saw in the 2014 elections was, on the one hand, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, at that time the Prime Minister nominee, coming literally on a white street like a Prince Charming, with the most effective campaign democratic history of India has seen, with 10 years of anti-incumbency against UPA for a parliamentary election. And on the other hand, you saw a completely divided opposition. And even then, the BJP managed to scrape through with just a few percentage points on each seat and won only 22 out of 40.
Okay.
Now, what has changed today? First of all, the sheen of Mr. Narendra Modi,
that has been out.
It certainly got diluted. This time, the index of opposition unity has increased. So, the vote division is not taking place. And therefore, the scenarios are totally different.
You're talking about an interesting pattern, which I'm going to talk about it now. When we saw the elections in Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Haryana, people said that, that election was almost nationalized because Narendra Modi, was campaigning for that election. It's quite similar. Bihar election almost looks very similar because Narendra Modi is pulling out all the stops, to win Bihar. But here, don't you think that the difference, what we saw during general elections or these elections which I'm talking about, is he was talking about national issues. But here he's talking about the regional issues, which probably the Grand Alliance is not talking about. Because I was speaking to a number of people on the street in Patna just about 3 days ago. And there was a general refrain that the political leaders cutting across party lines, they are not talking about local issues. किसी का नाली बह रहा है, pani is not there, things like drainage, cleanliness, those are not the issues which are surfacing during this election.
From our side,
Yeah.
even our manifesto or the lack of it is going to be an endorsement of Nitish ji's Sat Nishchay or 7-point program, which has been given very wide publicity, and in every speech of it,
You're talking about your vision document.
Yeah, no. I'm talking of Nitish ji's Sat Nishchay.
Okay.
Now, if you look at that, which is being spoken about by Lalu Prasad and by the Congress party, what does it deal with? Only local issues.
So basically both parties, I mean BJP as well as JDU and the Grand Alliance, both are talking about development, but we have to see which party is able to convince the voters. That only time will tell, but I have to take a break here. On the other side, when we come back, we talk about the Manchi factor in Bihar elections. Back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching To The Point with JDU leader Pavan Varma. Mr. Varma, now let's talk about the Manchi factor. His party, which has been launched, the Hindustan Awam Morcha, he formed a party because of various compulsions and the kind of movements, the political movements which we saw, after he resigned or he was asked to resign, whichever way the events were called. But don't you think exit of Jitin Ram Majhi, has it affected the party really in a way?
Well, I think that the manner in which Mr. Manji behaved was unfortunate, if you ask me. Okay. Nitish Kumar has done it in the past also, taking moral responsibility to resign. He did it after a train accident as Minister of Railways. Right. He said that after the defeat of the party in the parliamentary elections, he must accept as the leader the moral responsibility. Right. And he resigned. And he made one of his colleagues in the cabinet, who also happened to belong to the Mahadalit class, the Musahar community, as the chief minister. They've been colleagues for very long. He did it with full trust and faith in Mr. Manchi. What happened? Within 4 months, Mr. Manchi, instead of being with Mr. Nitish Kumar, had completely shifted his allegiance to the BJP. Okay. And actually it was a situation of complete betrayal. And the same BJP which was so vituperatively critical of Mr. Manji when he became chief minister, the moment he shifted allegiance, they began to praise him as a Mahadalit leader. I've never seen a bigger demonstration of opportunistic politics. Now, what is the impact of it? I think Mr. Manji has a certain following among a certain community of the...
When he resigned and the events which took in turn, don't you think that emotionally and politically, somewhere down the line, it degraded the political graph of Nitish Kumar somewhere? Because there was a perception like that.
In fact, it degraded it sort of highlighted the opportunistic politics of the BJP. Mr. Nitish Kumar, I want to say this on record to you.
Okay.
After he made Mr. Manji the chief minister, he did not interfere one day in his functioning. In fact, it became a joke in Bihar that he would be told that things are going wrong.
Was he made the chief minister?
My dear, I have not completed an answer. Give me 10 seconds at least to do so.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
In fact, there was a joke that things are going wrong and Mr. Nitish Kumar is the absolute leader or the leader of the party and it was his nominee. And he'd say, no, now he's the chief minister, I will not interfere. He did not interfere. He trusted him. But you tell me that in 4 months the BJP works to take Mr. Manji on their side, promising him I don't know what, and an incumbent chief minister nominated of a party actually shifts his allegiance to the opponent's camp. It's an untenable situation for the JDU. Okay. That is why Mr. Nitish Kumar had to come back. How many times he tried to counsel Mr. Manji? I know that by just telling him.
But there was a perception, sir, when Jitin Ram Majhi was made the chief minister, people thought that during general elections, the way the EBC vote had drifted towards BJP, that was a reason. It was like an awakening hour for Nitish Kumar. And he realized that, that vote bank was slipping out of his hand. And that is when he realized that Jitin Ram Majhi was the Mahadalit leader who was supposed to take the throne.
A short answer.
Okay.
Conduct any analysis of all the elections held when Mr. Nitish Kumar has been a candidate, you will notice that he received support from all sections of society, be it the Mahadalits, the Dalits, the Ati Pichdas, the backward classes, the forward classes, from all communities on the ground of economic development, right? What happened in 2014 parliamentary elections? There was a kind of mini wave in favor of Mr. Narendra Modi as a result of 10 years of UPA's rule and the anti-incumbency factor, which I explained to you. So it cut across all caste lines. Even then, look at the surprising factor in this. The opposition was divided. Had it been together, it would have got more percentage votes than the BJP. And its allies put together. That's the amazing thing, even in this situation. So, the EBCs and the Mahadalits and the Dalits, you must understand one thing very important. You talk to any Mahadalit today, I challenge you. You talk to any Ati Pichhada today in Bihar, he will say that Nitish Kumar has worked for us. You talk to the poor among the minorities, he will say he has worked for us. He has given us dividends which we would not otherwise have got.
Mr. Varma, I'll honestly share with you, in one of the villages, what people told me. And they said that there is no denying the fact that Nitish Kumar did not work for the upliftment of the Ati Pichhadas. But what they have not liked is the way a Mahadalit leader was shooed out of the Chief Minister's chair.
Well, the Ati Pichhadas and the Mahadalits are an entirely different category. The Mahadalits are not the Ati Pichhadas. The Ati Pichhadas consists of an amorphous group which has below socially the backward classes, which constitutes about 24-25% of the population and consists of 57
But
castes.
is this perception?
But therefore, you must talk about the Mahadalits. The Mahadalit is also not a monolith in Bihar. I'm sorry I have to talk on these lines because essentially our essential goal is the all-round and holistic development of Bihar.
But sir, this is the biggest irony. This is the biggest irony of this election.
But tell me, in Karnataka you have elections. Do you have no Vokalegas and Lingayats? Come on, let's not say that it's peculiar to Bihar. Any state you go to and you will see the caste factor. Now, caste factor, when it's linked to social justice, it becomes different. What is the difference among the Mahadalit vote? The community from which Mr. Manji comes is one segment of the Mahadalit vote. There are other segments, and all of them, including Musahar, say that in his 9 years of rule, what Mr. Nitish Kumar has done for us, no other chief minister has done. We've got scholarships, land has been given to us, schemes of employment have been given to us.
But how are you really consolidating this, the EBC vote bank? 32% is not a small number. And the pattern which we saw in the Lok Sabha elections, how are you really ensuring that it will remain consolidated, its loyalty will remain with Grand Alliance? Because the NDA is strong.
My view is that the real problem of the BJP, I'm not talking of partisan politics now, but the real problem on the ground for the BJP is that it's essentially a party of the upper caste.
Okay.
And that bias shows. If you look at the seats given by the BJP, you will see how many candidates, more than any other party by miles, have been given to people of upper caste. Now the upper caste constitute only 12% of Bihar. So now you have to try and broad base that alliance in some way. But where you are going to find support are the natural constituencies of Mr. Lalu Prasad, Mr. Nitish Kumar, and to a great extent of the Congress as well. Meera Kumar is there right now, canvassing because she comes from that class.
But talking about Congress in Grand Alliance, it's really mesmerizing, to just talk about it, the way you have latched on to Congress as well. You know the image which Congress has had.
I disagree to the word latched on. An alliance is made when parties willingly agree to work together.
I'll tell you exactly why I use that word. Because you have RJD on one hand, you've given 100 seats to RJD, 100 seats is with JDU, and then there is a perception that Congress is there in the alliance to do the spoiling act for the NDA. Would you agree with this perception?
Let me tell you that 40 seats have been given to the Congress on an assessment of a fair division of the seats. And it's not as if the Congress has never had any vote base in Bihar. Until 1990, it used to be a Congress government always. The Congress
Which has been shrinking.
Yes, but Congress has its traditional supporters. And we believe that on the seats the Congress is fighting, it has a good chance of winning, with the support naturally of the RJD and JDU, just like we will have the Congress party supporters support in our constituency. When you do an alliance, the arithmetic changes. And that is why these three parties have come together. Essentially I am telling you, it's of course an alliance against the BJP, I am not denying it. But the subterranean text of this alliance is good governance with a difference where social justice comes in, and an atmosphere of religious and social harmony, respect for all faiths, and respect for the composite and plural identity of India.
Just a few days left, people will have to answer, but I have to tell you this, that it's all water and fire at the moment as the elections in Bihar are progressing. Thank you very much, Mr. Pavan Varma, for coming on To The Point. So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.